lighting. That's what we're talking about today. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is MC. This channel is all about filmmaking tips and tricks and helping you guys become better filmmakers. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about lighting, as you could have told a guess from that little introduction. Okay, so I'm also just testing out this new lav mic. I'm also just testing it for this video. I don't like having like something here showing, but I really could not be bothered to set up a whole other stand for a microphone. It gets tiring sometimes and I just don't want to do it. Today's video is all about lighting. Now, lighting is probably the most important thing when it comes to filmmaking. Like, you could have the best camera, you can have the best lenses, you could have the best director in the world, the best crew, right? But if you don't have any lights, your videos are gonna look like trash. And trust me, I would know. I've made the wrong investments before. I wish I spent that money on lighting rather than a nice camera. Don't make my mistake. So, today we're going to be talking about specifically the Godox VL150.
You getting stuck, I see feet in the mud. You have been caught in the flood. While the water isn't parted, we run, reap what you sow, the harvest is us. You have been enjoying life, sipping the syrup and a line in the white. Taking whatever you touch, the sword of the wicked is covered in blood. Welcome to the city of the 9 cents. Pleasure is the peace we can find in. Dive in, ride a shotgun.
Now this light is essentially an equivalent to the Aperture 120D Mark II. It's a pretty bright light. It's not like the brightest thing in the world, like a 300D. Now I do of course have a Godox VL300, and that is twice as bright. You know, it's on par with like the Aperture 300D. You kind of see where this theme is going. Quite a bit of comparison to Aperture, of course, but the great thing about Godox, we can kick off the positive straight away, is it is less than half the price. That's good. So Lencarta were kind enough to give this light to me for all my YouTube stuff and film production stuff as well, and it has been a game changer for a lot of my work. I've actually been after this specific light for a long time, so when I reached out to them and they're like, yeah, we can give you one, you know, obviously very, very grateful. This light costs 300-ish pounds, $300-ish, and of course that gets you the light itself. When you're able to compare it to an Aperture 120D, which runs you close to about $1,000, £1,000. Not to mention you then also have to buy the softbox and like a good light stand as well, which, I mean, stands aren't that expensive, but it is an additional cost. And it adds up to more like $1,000 plus, like $1,200, or, you know, it depends on the softbox you get, I guess. Especially if you go with the Aperture softbox, which is like $200 something or pounds, so yeah. So I've been using this light for a lot of my professional work lately, and it has made a huge difference in terms of production quality, the look of my videos, and just making it a lot easier for me. So let me go through all these things. So let's start backwards. In terms of making it easier for myself, usually like my lighting kit has never been the best. I've got lights, but they're weak, I'll be honest. And so because of that, I've always had to either rely on bouncing natural light or the client having the budget to then rent out lights. And you know, before I got this light, so maybe like a year or half a year ago, I was at the point where I wasn't really getting the clients that like had enough budget to both pay me, but also get lighting rented as well, or like on top of locations or other camera gear that maybe we needed, or props and people and stuff like that. So it was a little bit of a problem, and honestly, it was kind of embarrassing to present yourself as a professional and not have a good lighting kit. Like, lighting is so important, guys. I could use my A7S II, but if I show up with all these banging lights and make the image look so good, they won't care about the camera. They'll just be like, wow, that looks really good. And I'll be like, yeah, it does. So how this has made it easier for me is that I don't need to worry anymore about having a good light source because I have my own. I think this kind of plays into the whole owning your own gear thing versus renting. I'll probably make another video about that, but to really summarize it, it's almost always better to own it, unless it's something you use maybe like once in a blue moon, like once a year or something like that. But if you own your own gear, you never have to rent it. And if it's something that you don't use fairly often, you can rent it out to people and it can still pay itself off, even if you're not using it on paid gigs. Okay, so in terms of the overall look of my videos, yeah, boy, having a good light just opens up I don't even know what to say first. It opens up a world of possibilities in terms of the looks you can create for your videos. For instance, like the stuff you're seeing on screen now, this was all shot with the Godox VL150, and it couldn't have been done without the Godox VL150. Having a really strong LED light source that's both easy to like place around, kind of portable, easy to mount, small, but very strong, it means I can put this anywhere and create any kind of look I want. So one of my favorite things, so from this video that I shot for Broccoli, a Manchester-based music video artist, I've always wanted to do this top-down light that creates a very contrasty look. Now, I did actually make a mistake, and I did review this mistake in my editing a music video, so you can watch that up here. And that mistake was I didn't have anything to like flag the light so that it wouldn't spill onto the background, because the background was white, but I wanted it to be black. But in post, I was able to make it so that basically the only thing that was lit up were the parts of Broccoli that had light on him from the top-down lighting. And this produced a very contrasty look, which was exactly what I was going for. And I was so happy with how it looked. I was just like, damn, like this is where the professional shit starts. So from that point on, I made sure to always bring the light with me unless I 100% knew I wouldn't be needing it. But that never happened. I always needed it. So I've shot some interviews, I've shot some other videos, I've shot a product video for a bubble tea place here in Manchester, as well as multiple other music videos. And I've always brought this light with me, and it's a necessity. Having good lighting is such a necessity for your videos. Now you do obviously lose out on a few things that Aperture have and that Godox doesn't, so I'll quickly go through those. You don't have any effects with the VL150, which honestly, it's a shame, but I don't really miss it. I have had a couple of shoots where I wanted to utilize effects like lightning or paparazzi, like those kind of effects. They would have been great, and it's kind of odd that the bigger brother can't do it when the, what's it called? The ML60 by Godox. That little thing can do effects and stuff, but this big light can't. And that is a bit odd, especially when there is a bit of a price difference of like $100+ But at the end of the day, it's like, all I care about is that it's doing its job. It is providing a good key light. Like, now you can't see me, and not to mention with this remote, by the way, and now you can. So the effects being gone, that may bug more people than it bugs me. It's just something that you should bear in mind. I am looking to get a second one of these, and then I'm also looking to get the ML60 from Godox as well, so that I can have like, for one, a little kicker light, and two, have a light that can actually do those like lightning effects and stuff like that. So let's go over the build quality. The light, you know, it's like a mixture of metal and plastic, mostly metal, which is great. Fan, it has inside to dissipate heat. It's pretty quiet. Like, I can't hear anything at all. I've whacked this thing up to 100% and I still don't audibly hear anything. On the microphones, it's on 23% right now. It's dead quiet. Like, it doesn't make a noise, doesn't disturb the filmmaking process. I've used this on loads of shoots, as I said. The softbox I have, now this isn't a Godox softbox, this is actually a softbox from Lancarta, which they gave to me as well with this light. It's pretty big. The build quality for the softbox is good. Like, it's an easy setup process. You just like push down the center, it opens up like an umbrella, clicks into place. You put the diffusion paper material around it, it Velcros on, and then you just do the reverse, take it apart and then unclick it and then fold it back up and then put it into its bag when you're done with it. It's very, very easy. I'm glad I never had to experience the older softbox method of where you had to actually put in every single little rod to then have it fold open like an umbrella. Like, one thing that I have seen a lot of people complain, not really complain, but point out, especially when in comparison to the Aperture series of lights, is the control box and the power brick are two separate things, which it means you've got more things to set up, more blocks to carry around, and more cables. Now, personally, it doesn't bug me because I've not experienced any other way of handling a light setup like this. But with the Aperture series, with the 120D Mark II and the 300D Mark II, the power brick and the control brick are in one, and that's probably great. However, when I'm using this like run and gun, say there's no power source to plug in or anything like that, You can, with the control box, you can just slap a V-Lock battery onto the back of the control box and power it that way. So something to point out actually, this is a positive for the Godox VL150. So a while ago, post lockdown 1 here in the UK, or like at the very end of it, I shot a music video for an artist, right? Literally when the lockdown had ended, okay, let me clarify. We rented a couple of Aperture 120D Mark IIs, okay? Now, my thought was, oh, these run on V-mount batteries, so great, I don't have to worry about if, when we're no longer in a place that has plugs, I can just use my V-mount batteries. Now, I've got 2 of these, one of them's currently powering my Pocket 4K, and I've got one of these. There's the Anton Bauer Titan V90, and then these are the Hawkwoods M98 HPs, okay? Technically, this has more power than this, which is weird because tiny, big, but anyway. The Aperture 120D Mark IIs could not be powered from these, which was a huge nuisance because I had 2 lights, had 2 of these, but only 1 of these. Bearing in mind, I also had to power my camera, so in reality, I only had 1 battery for each light. This was drained to 0 in 30 minutes, not even that, with the Aperture 120D Mark II. My Godox VL150 can run on this 45 minutes to an hour, it depends how I'm using it. It also obviously depends on the strength that you're using the light at. Shooting with 100% brightness is gonna drain this a lot faster than shooting at like 45% brightness, for example. I found it weird, but it is what it is, but something to note. Okay, so overall, what are my thoughts on this light? Guys, this is a great light. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I said, I don't have really much brand loyalty. These are all just tools. But for me, it's like the value you get out of the item and then like the cost of the item as well. It's kind of why I went for my Pocket 4K over my Red. Like I sold the Red for this Pocket 4K, and you just can't, I can't argue with the value you get out of this camera, and I really can't argue with the value you get out of this light either. 300 plus pounds/dollars, and you get an incredible light that is on par with the Aperture 120D Mark II. If you want the scientific breakdown of all this stuff, click here. Gerald Undon's video will explain this light in detail if you want to get all sciencey, nerdy, geeky with it and truly understand like how it's actually on par with the Aperture 120D Mark II. But yeah, this has been my very short review of the Godox VL150. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informational and that you learned a little bit, and maybe it helped you decide on your purchase decision. If you are in the UK, you can get 10% off the Lencarta website, link down below, or you can use my code MC010. Or if you're from anywhere else in the world, there will be an Amazon link down below as well, which will also be an affiliate link. Thank you for the support. Thanks so much for watching this, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.